What's up, everyone? What's up?
Hey, what's up? I wanted to come and support because you've kind of been with me, almost a few hours. So like, hey, I want to have this conversation.
Okay.
Um, so first, I think I just kind of want to understand like how is it for you being like a transgender? Because like I never really met anybody that was transgendering from male to female, but I have met people who were transgendering from female to male. Um, and I kind of want to know, like, what is your perspective? Like, how does it feel? Like, how did you know? Or, like, what was your experience like?
I knew since I was 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wearing my mom's clothes and everything since I was a kid. That's how I knew.
Okay. Um, hmm,
And I told her I wanted to be a woman too when I was a kid.
okay. Um, I think I guess what I'm trying to ask is I'm not trying to like be offensive or anything because like I've had
Yeah.
moments where I'm like I wish like I
A dinner plate. Okay, there we go. You can be admin. Yes. There.
sorry
And
yeah I was just because like I've been through moments where like I'm like man like I wish I was a dude or whatever or I've gone through like my phase of where I would kind of dress a little bit more boyish but like but I think to my core, I really do think that like I'm a woman, and so it's like I'm trying to like kind of figure out what's like the um, kind of difference, I guess.
yeah,
Because yeah,
I have a cousin that's a lesbian.
sorry, say that again.
I said I also have a cousin that's gay and have a cousin that's a lesbian.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, um, interesting.
I never judge anyone.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like I'm trying to make sure that like I'm being, respectful and stuff. Like I know it's a
Yeah, you
discussion,
are.
but yeah, I'm just trying to like, I'm just trying to figure out like what's the difference between like when I went through my phase of like dressing up like a dude and feeling like I wanted to be a guy and versus like somebody who is transgender,
Yeah,
because I feel like I went through my phase of doing that, but it was literally just a phase, because I think like deep down, like I know that I'm a woman, and it's like it's kind of hard because it's like when you talk about transgender, they talk about like they feel like they're a woman, they feel like they're a male,
yeah,
and some people use that as a way to kind of as like a green light to do things that they're not supposed to do, or just get away with things, and um or take advantage of the situation, which doesn't make like the transgender, specifically transgender women, in a very good light. And there are like some concerns, like when we talked about the
yeah.
sports and stuff like that, them going into the restroom. Actually, that's a really good question. How do you feel about the whole restroom situation?
That, yeah, I don't agree with it though. I went in a women's restroom at a gay bar before.
Okay. Yeah, because like some people are like, oh well, I should be able to go, but there are some
I'm in,
creeps that are not
I'm in,
even transgender and they're just
I'm in
saying that they
Kentucky,
are.
so I'm in Kentucky. They haven't. I don't think they changed the law in Kentucky.
Mm. You said you don't think that it's against the law?
Well, I don't know if they changed the law in Kentucky yet.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
don't.
I'm not
Yeah,
really like up to date on like the laws and stuff about like the restrooms and stuff, but I just know that it was like a problem
yeah.
when
I
I guess
heard
like
about
the
that.
movement first started because there was just a
Yeah,
lot of men who weren't even transgender just going in there. Like I said, they will just take advantage of things. But I do think that that's a big flaw with men. I think that's more of a men issue, and not a transgender issue. I think just men in general are weird, creepy, fucking
yeah.
weirdos.
Hell no. Hell no.
Right. I do want to
Yeah,
play this message real quick.
yeah. I was gonna say
Hi,
that.
I've been listening and I have a genuine question. If you really think that you are a woman, I wonder why is it that you choose to have a full beard and present like a man? And this is a genuine question. No offense or nothing. I'm genuinely curious.
Well, I don't have a beard or anything. I shave.
No, but yeah, but there are some men or transgender women who will still have their beard or still like present as a man, or they don't even
Yeah,
dress
I
like a
don't like.
woman. They still dress like a man. So it's
I
like,
dress like a woman and stuff. I have so many female clothes and everything.
yeah. No, but I mean like yeah, we're not talking about you. We're just talking about like in general, like the cuz for example, when I was in San Diego, there was an incident that happened where I had was living with a bunch of women and somebody had came to the center and said, "Oh, I'm transgender." And so they were there, they put them in the female dorms, but
Mm,
he didn't dress like a woman. He didn't.
what the
He didn't.
hell?
He wasn't even taking hormones. He
Hell
had
no.
nothing. He just said that he was transgender, and they let him in. And he would do really weird stuff, like he would go and like he would go like look at the girls in the shower. Every
Hell
roommate,
no. That's
yeah, like
yeah
he would
no.
our roommate, he would he would wake up and be like, "Oh man, I got a boner." Like, excuse me, if you were really transgender, you really wouldn't want to be talking about your boner. You would actually be very embarrassed about it. You wouldn't just
Hell
be
no.
talking about stuff like that. And so then eventually they were like, "Okay, well, we don't want to kick him out because they were too scared to have a lawsuit." So they just said, "Okay, well, we're just going to have to give him his own room." Which was fine, and it worked for a little bit, but then he started harassing like the women. Like he would just like
Oh, hell
start
no.
talking about sexual things all the time, and talked about like how his kink was like women who look scared and stuff. And it's just like, are you trying to like say that you trying to like rape me? Like so it's
Hell
just
no.
really weird. It was a lot. And that was like
You,
my first
yeah,
experience with a transgender woman, so it's like, mm.
you can pay the message if you want.
Oh, okay, sure.
Well, you said that you don't have a beard, but I click on the link that's on your profile, which leads me to your YouTube, where I can see what you look like, and you look like a man. You have a full beard. You have a even bigger beard than a lot of guys do, and you don't look like someone that is trying to present as a woman or identifies with being a woman. So I'm a little confused. So,
Right.
for you to be trans, it means that you suffer from the disorder that is called gender dysphoria, right? That's what makes someone to be trans. You need to suffer from that disorder. So, if you suffer from that disorder and you were a biological male, that means that you don't feel fit in your body. You don't feel like your body matches your identity in your brain, right? So naturally, you would try to present and to look like the gender that you think you are, which in your case would be a woman, female. And I don't know if your photos on YouTube are old or not, but that's the way you chose to present yourself online. And you say that you're a woman. So I can respect a lot of things, but we need to be in reality. We need to live in reality. That's just not reality. Sorry. Like, if you feel like you are a woman, why?
Well, anyways, that is old and I can't be on social media. That's why I haven't posted any videos. And I did say, though, I don't have no beard anymore.
Well, for you to be trans, it means that it means
Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah, the whole trans thing is kind of an iffy subject. Oh, she gone. She gone. But yeah, no, but I don't think that whether you have a beard or not, it's a real big issue. Because I've
Yeah, no.
seen,
I don't like,
yeah, it's not a real big issue.
I never liked having a beard to begin with.
Yeah, and I still
I
think that
wish
it's
they
not an
saved it.
issue. Because
I,
I've seen, for example, I seen on TV there was this transgender woman, but she still had like her little mustache, but she would
oh,
dress like
hell
a
no.
woman. She
That's
would wear
terrible.
makeup like a woman. You know what I mean? So it kind of was a little bit different, but like, so it's like it's not the fact that you have the beard, it's the fact of whether like you're presenting yourself in any aspect as a woman
Yeah,
or not,
yeah. I'd be putting on makeup and everything, too. I seen a gay guy do that, too.
hmm Yeah, yeah. Um, there are cross dressers, which are different than transgender. Um, but would I be a cross dresser? Was I a cross dresser? Because I went through my phase where like I dressed kind of like more manly and stuff like that. Like I still believed that I was a woman. Didn't think that I was a man. It's just I would dress a little bit more masculine, and I'm like, huh, isn't that a cross dresser?
Mm. I know, like, one of my family, on my cousin's side, um, one of her family members. dressed like a she was like a female, but she dressed like a guy, and she's a lesbian.
Yeah, and it's like I get like the lesbians and stuff like that, but I'm like, if you just dress like a guy and you're a girl, like, but you still believe that you're like a girl and you're not trans, isn't that just a cross dresser? I think we just have a really bad like um idea of like what cross dressing is, because like when you hear cross dresser, it just sounds
Yeah,
like bad. It sounds so
yeah,
bad. But
I get
essentially, that's what you're doing, right? Like, well, not trans people, but people who just dress
yeah,
as like the different gender.
like
But if you call them a cross dresser, it's kind of like a dig at them, you know?
mm, they're on there. I'm like, and everyone left. I'm like, I said, I was about to join. Yeah, on the other live.
Hmm. And that's just crazy. It's a weird world we're living in right now. You
Yeah,
try to be um, respectful as much as possible, but you know,
I'm
sometimes
respectful.
sometimes it's hard to be, because there's a lot of people who have a very strong opinions,
Yeah,
about gay people, about Christianity, about and stuff
yeah,
like
I
that.
get
So
that.
like
My papa was the
even when
same
I deal with
way.
like Christians, like don't get me wrong, I want to be like, oh, I want to be so like into God and stuff, because
I'm still that way. I still believe in God and watch shorts. That's about it. Like, and yeah,
yeah, but it's just
mom.
it's hard for me because it's like I know in the Bible it's very stern on
Yeah,
homosexuality and stuff like that. So it's like,
yeah,
how can I stay true to myself but be in this religion? And it feels like I have
yeah,
to give that up if I were to
yeah.
stay in that religion. And it's really hard for me. It's like it does give me peace in the sense of, having a higher power, knowing that somebody has like, is looking out for me and got my back and stuff like that. Like it brings me peace, and to know that like that entity like loves me and everything, that gives me peace in my own self. But it doesn't bring peace to everything that I am, you know?
Hmm.
And the only thing I get from Christians is to pray about it. And when I hear that, I just think that they just want me to, pray the gay away, like that's all I hear. I don't hear
Damn.
like anything else, because that's all they tell me, like, oh, just pray about it. If you pray to him, talk to him, and he'll make it go away. Or you need to choose to want to be with him or choose to live the life that you're living. And I'm like, what the, like, why? i
Yeah.
i understand
My
that it's a sin.
I had a friend that never judged me, and she was a Christian. Um, she would never tell me that though. But she told me I can still believe in God and be be trans. But we're not friends anymore. I got attached to her and everything, so we kept being friends. It was because of my autism too. That that's why I got attached.
Yeah.
Are you still there?
Jesus. Sorry, I was just because I was talking to this other Christian
Mm-hmm.
and she said something that kind of like I was like, maybe I can do this Christianity thing, right? Because she said that like God, like, um, he died for all sins, whether like past,
Mm-hmm.
present, and future, right? So I'm like, so it doesn't matter that I'm gay. Because I'm like, yes, it's a sin. But if he died for all my sins, including for the future sins that I do, as long as that, I'm like, does that mean that as long as I believe in him and I have a relationship with him, like, I'll still go to heaven, which I know like that's the whole purpose and like the whole goal is to go to heaven,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um like that's kind of what I was like searching up right now. And it says um that bothers me about that is that not the scripture. What bothers me about Christianity is that they will make it seem as if like you um you sin, you're going to hell. You're living in sin, you're going to hell. And you know what I mean? And that's how they
Yeah.
make it seem. They try to use this fear tactic. But if you read the Bible and it says that it forgives you for all your other sins, now you know that, if you're gay or you know that it's a sin, right? And so it's like you're
Yeah.
actively knowing that you're living in sin. And what's confusing for me is like but it says that he forgives all sins. It doesn't say he only forgives the sins that you don't know about, or he only forgives the sins that you're not conscious about or are conscious about. So it's like he said he forgives all sin. So,
Yeah.
but the problem is that I can't find a church that would accept me
Yeah.
for
Same.
being gay and
That's
still
why
being
I
a
only. That's why I only watch it online and stuff because I'm afraid they won't accept me.
Christian. Cause like they probably for the most part they want to be like, oh, we're inclusive, oh, everyone should come to the church and all this stuff, but like they're not they want you there literally just to judge you, to make themselves feel
Yeah.
better about their walk with God so they can feel like they're
Yeah.
better than you. And it's just it's a lot and it's overwhelming. Like I'd rather just do the shit at home and be at peace with my fucking self and do it and not tell anybody about it. Not saying that like because it says like always to share like God's word and stuff, and I'm okay with doing that. But it's kind of scary for me to let other people know that I'm Christian, especially when I'm gay. I'm not gay, but I'm kind of gay. I think I'm bisexual, but
Mm.
um,
That's how my
it,
friend was. He told me she was bisexual.
yeah, it's just it's really hard to like be
I
on your
seen a
walk with Christ when you're gay.
I seen a YouTuber that was bisexual and he still believed in God and stuff. He was a Christian.
Yeah, and it's like it's not the fact that I don't believe in God. It's just hard for me to follow Christianity, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to follow the Bible. It's hard for me to look at God and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna stick by your side and I'm gonna talk to you and I'm gonna pray and I'm gonna try to do everything I can, but I'm still going to be doing this on the side. And it's like, I don't want to have one foot in and one foot out. And that's
Yeah.
what kind of keeps me wanting to be out of it because it's like, I feel like I would have to change. And I don't know if this is like an ADHD thing or it's an autism thing of me, because like, I can't, if I do something, I want to do something right. I want to do it the way that it's supposed to be, right? And if
Mhm.
that's what it wants me to be, I know I'm not going to be that. And if I do change that about myself, then like I don't know, I feel like I would be like not accepting a part of me. And it's just it's weird. It's like I want to be true to myself, but for
Yeah,
me to
same.
be true to myself, I feel like I need to find a different religion.
Hmm.
Because for the most part, almost all religions talk about God. You know what? I thought that, and this is just how like ignorant I am, right? So like like Muslims, they pray
Oh
to
yeah.
Allah.
Uh,
So,
it's something there too.
so like they say Allah, but if you actually look at it, because I've been doing research on like other religions and stuff, Allah is literally God. It's just how they say God in like some other language, but it's literally God. It's not another person. It's not another human being. But a lot of times Christians will, because they're kind of ignorant themselves. They will take it as like, oh, this is another person because you're not saying God, you're saying Allah, even though it means God. Um, they'll take it as be like, oh, you're praying to somebody else then. No, that they're praying to the same person. Like, they're praying to the same person. They just call it different because it's just a different language. And I didn't know that.
Oh,
And so it's
someone
like,
else
oh,
request. Hold on, how did it request? Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but I didn't know that. So it's like, oh, interesting. But then I found out like a lot of religions literally just pray to the same God. There are some religions that have like multiple gods and stuff like that, and like I think that's like a contradicting with Christianity. Um,
Apparently, Truth. I missed the talk with Truth. Oh yeah, I seen a new one. He tried to invite me earlier when you guys was on.
yeah, I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot for me to think about. But I'm pretty sure I'm not the
I
only
get that.
person that has this problem.
Yeah, I get that. You know that what's that guy's name? He was dealing with the same thing. That football player that was on um um what's that so called? The Bachelor.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was gay and he was dealing with the same thing, and he wanted to go to church. but he had a church that for gays and stuff.
Yeah. And it like, but like, even if I went to a church that had gays in it, like, it's
Yeah,
just, it's not necessarily about me being accepted in church, but it's a fact of like, I don't feel like I'm going to be accepted by the religion because the religion
yeah.
sees me as an abomination. So it's like, why I can't, like, I want to, but I can't put myself in a religion where I know damn well that it's it's a sin that is not is really not liked. And I mean, I know God says that all sin is seem the same. So it's like, but it's hard because like if I get into a religion, I'm
Yeah,
gonna want to have a community with the people who are in the same religion as me, and those people in the community are not going to have the same viewpoint as me, even if they are gay, because they'll probably be like, oh well, like, you can still, like, love God and be a Christian and still be gay, but like it's
yeah.
it's a little bit different for me because I'm like, okay, but it says this in the Bible. So like I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm gonna be Christian, but I'm also gonna do the sin um as well. So it's like I feel like for me to be Christian, I would have to just force myself to like men or just stay single.
I would stay single. I would stay single.
Yeah, I mean, like, shit, at that point, yeah, because well, right now I don't really want to be around men because I have a lot of trauma, and I really do think that men are kind of worthless for the most part. But it's like I just rather would be single. But I want to be single for the rest of my life? I don't know. Can I deal with that?
Yeah,
I mean, I would still probably have unmarital sex, which is also still a sin. But then, like, no, I actually won't be because for me to do that, I could only even it. No, 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 that
a
wouldn't work
lot of
because
a lot of people have sex without marriage. I'm like, I said, you're a sinner too. I'm like, uh,
yeah, and that's another thing. It's like premarital sex is not a big deal in the Christian community as much anymore, but being gay, it's like being gay is worse. Being
yeah, I
gay
know.
and single and not having premarital sex is worse than having premarital sex.
Mm, I don't have sex at all. I I I don't want to have sex. Plus, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's scary. I still get uncomfortable because you just having people touch your
Yeah, no,
body.
hell no.
I don't like that. Like, I used to.
I consider myself asexual.
That makes sense. Like, I can't say that I'm asexual. Asexual is when you don't want to have sex at all, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Like, my thing is, I don't think that is that I'm asexual because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be masturbating, right? So, like, obviously, I like sex. I just don't like sex with men.
Yeah, that I get that.
Also, cause like I get tired of that shit. Like men be wanting you to turn around and flop around and do all these stupid little moves and tricks, and I'm
Mhm.
like, man, you doing too fucking much. Like I'm just trying to be here and relax, and you over here making me do all this other shit. And then I feel like I'm always fighting with them too.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get myself off and you're just trying to get yourself off, and I feel like we just fighting with each other. And then as soon as
Oh
like
Lord.
the guy fucking comes, like he don't care about the girl, and then it's just like I just feel used, and I don't like that shit. I don't want to
Hmm.
feel used. I'm tired of that shit, you know? Like I was a hoe in my teen years, and I did it for male validation, but you
Mm,
know, I'm fucking 20, I'm 24 years old, right? Like, I
I'm
don't need to
40.
be letting these fucking men use my body for what? What are they gonna give me? Shit, if you ain't gonna pay for it, you ain't gonna give me money, you ain't gonna do nothing for me, then like,
Hmm.
why the fuck am I doing you a favor? For what? Like, shit, you gonna use me, at least pay for it. Give me something. But no, they don't even want to do that. They don't even want to pay you because they feel like they deserve it for free. Just rude, selfish bitches, really. They really are. And that's why I can't stand them. That's why I prefer women.
Yeah.
Because, hey, you don't know how many women I have heard taking care of their man. You don't know how many women that stick by a man's side after they've cheated, after they put them through shit, after, like, women, when they're with somebody, like, they're pretty loyal. You know, like, there are women that are not loyal, but, like, if you find a nice woman, they're pretty loyal. They will try to
Yeah.
stick with you for a lot of things. And I think right now men are getting so bothered, and then
Yeah,
now
I
they want
get
to be
that.
like, "Oh, women quit too easily on relationships." No, 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 because we got standards now. Now we're not gonna let you fucking run us like a damn doormat. And now you're bothered by that. You're bothered that you can't run us like a doormat anymore. You're bothered that you don't have this sweet little girl that's gonna just deal with all of your shit and cheat on her multiple times, and
Mm.
you know, have baby mamas here and there, and you're
Oh,
you're
yeah.
mad that you can't do that no more.
It's crazy.
It is. I'm like, shit, if I could find, there's men who literally live off their women, and I'm like, I'm not saying I want to live off a woman, but I'm saying, like, shit, if I've had a man live off of me, you know what I mean? So it's it's like
I
I
have.
know so many
That's how
people
my
who've done
that's how
that,
my
and a lot of
mom.
women, and it's women,
That's
and
how
I'm like,
my
shit.
mom. Sorry.
Sorry. No, but I was just like, shit, like, if I had that fucking life, like, for one, you be straight. I'm not gonna sit there and cheat on her. You be for sure. I'm not gonna cheat on her. I'm not gonna do shit. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna do exactly what the fuck she want me to do. You know what I mean? Like, but like, men don't understand how fucking good they got it when they have a girl that's willing to like take care of them, you know?
That's how my mom basically doing right now because her man um is lazy as shit. He don't work and trying to get a disability check. I'm like, bro. I'm like, you're lazy as fuck.
Like, I'm
My
not.
mom don't like laziness.
Yeah. And it's like there's just so many men like that, and there's so many women that are just taking care of these fucking men, and I'm like, for what? Like, if you gonna take care of somebody, shit, take care of me, all right? If you take care of
Uh,
me, I would. Oh my god! If a woman would take care of me, you best believe every time you come home from work, I'm gonna run you a bath. I'm gonna rub your feet. I'm like, I would do the fucking most, right? Like, but like, these men are getting taken care about these women's, and all they do is what? Sit on their lazy asses. They don't cook. They don't clean. They don't do shit. They don't take care of their kids. They don't work. They just sit and do fucking nothing. Like, probably be on the fucking video games and do absolutely nothing. And then when their woman comes home, what do they do? Oh, I want to have sex. Um, excuse me, sir. Hell no. Like, I would treat a woman so well if they took care of me.
yeah,
I really would. But but I'm okay with doing both. Like, if
mm,
I worked and she worked, like, I'm working on my cosmetology license and stuff, so like, shit, I could work at
that's
fucking
good.
home if I wanted to. So, like, and I'm actually really pretty good. I like doing gel nails. Gel nails are really fun to
Mm,
do. I like doing like manicures and stuff like that. It's really fun. And I'm like, shit, I can do that shit at home, make a little bit of money, and you could be the breadwinner of the house. Fine, you can. I'll have everything set up your fucking way. Like, I'm not gonna be a bitch about it because I know like you taking care of me. And but I wouldn't do that for a man. You know why? Because
Yeah, I
I
get
feel like
that.
when a man does that, I feel like it's more controlling. I feel like they do that in a way to like control you of like, oh, I'm making like all the money in the house, da 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 da. So like, I want you to do this and do that. But I feel like when a woman with a woman, it's just a lot more easier. And even like if a
Hmm.
woman wanted to be like, hey, like come over here and fucking, lick my clit or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be too offended by that. But if a man comes to me and it's like, I take care of that all the fucking house, so I want you to suck this dick on, I'd be probably pissed. I'd be like, hell no, I don't want to. I'd be sad. I'd probably cry.
Damn.
This is unfair. I feel like women also care more. Like, I don't feel like men care for shit. They care about
Yeah,
themselves. They're very selfish, and I feel
I
like women
know.
actually give a fuck. Like, women would know their anniversary date. They would know when their partner's birthday is. They
Facts.
would they would do little shit. And I've dated women and I've seen them do that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just better. And I'm not saying every woman has to be a lesbian, but I'm like, hey, you dodge a lot, having to do a lot of shit when you with a woman. You dodge a lot of bullshit that you don't have to deal with. Oh, there was a this was the topic I wanted to get into since we're talking about like relationships and stuff. So I was on a
Yeah.
pod and they were talking
Yeah.
about how
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. The same uh one I was in.
yeah, they were talking about like, oh, like they're that they can't have male friends. And I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, it doesn't even make any fucking sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I was trying to be calm. Like, I would I was talking shit like to myself, but I was just trying to be calm and like the whole thing. But I was talking shit like to
Hmm.
myself because I was like, the only reason why you don't want your lady to be with
Yeah.
a male or have a male friend is
Yeah.
because of your fucking ego. Your fucking ego is so fucking shattered and so fucking small that you feel like any guy can fucking take her, and that's why you don't want her to have male friends. Like, it should not matter. Now, if this is a friend
That's true.
that like they're not even like close, they don't even talk to each other, they're just a random ass dude. Yes, I 100% believe that there's no need for him. But if there is a friendship that it's been there since years, like, and he said that he like they've been like in basically diapers together, right? So it's like,
Damn.
why would somebody lose their friend that they've had for years for somebody that they just
I
fucking
would
dated? Like,
fucking like nope. Real friends are more nope.
yeah, like I'd be I'd be so fucking pissed. Like, for example, like my friend, like, I'm bisexual, but she's straight, right? She's
Yeah.
straight. So we have a hard time. She has a hard time finding men that are okay that I'm bisexual or okay that I'm gay. And um I haven't really dated anybody that was like jealous of her or anything because
Yeah.
we didn't last enough for anybody to know about her. Um but she was worried that like once I find a girl that like they're gonna be jealous of like our friendship because we do hang out a lot. And I'm like, I wouldn't be with somebody that's gonna make me choose like that. Like, that's fucked
Yeah.
up.
That's
We've been
true.
friends for 7 fucking years. Like, if
That's
some
true.
I'm not gonna let this random bitch that comes into my life dictate whether I'm friends with you or not. Fuck that shit.
That's
No.
basically how my friend was. Like, she had a boyfriend that didn't like me at all, and she could be, yeah. She have an EPO on me.
Wow.
Yeah, we lived together and everything. Like, it was a bad idea to live with her though.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't make sense because that I'm sorry, relationships they come and fucking go, right? But
Yeah,
friendships are a lot stronger than
yeah,
relationships. What the fuck
yeah,
is what am I gonna do? Oh, I broke up with my boyfriend, so now we can hang out. Oh no 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 no! Since you
yeah.
chose that
Like
motherfucker, you can
fuck
stay with
you.
that motherfucker.
Like
Don't come back to me.
yeah, I get that. I was like, if he does that to me, I'm gonna say nope. We ain't being friends.
Yeah. No,
And
because that's fucked up. That's fucked up. You chose your relationship over your friendship, then
mm,
that's where it's gonna stay. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not, oh, just because we're together and they don't fucking like you. Who was here first? Don't get that fucking twisted. Now if it's a
that's what
random
I'm saying.
person that they don't fucking really talk to and all of a sudden like they just come into their life and you're like, who the
Yeah.
fuck is this person? That's different because they probably are there just to fuck more than likely. And I'm not saying that there are not guys that just stay in the friend zone so they can potentially have a chance either, because there are guys that are like that and there are girls that are like that. However,
Mm,
um it really just depends on the situation. Like, I think most guys are like that. I don't think girls are like that. I think guys are like that. Guys don't like that because they know how other guys are. You know what I mean?
mm,
So guys don't like that shit. And I get it. I get it. Um,
mm,
but it doesn't make sense. If you don't like the shit and that shit's not for you, then you need to step out of the relationship. That's what all I gotta say. There's some people that are gonna be accepting of it and there's some people that are not, and that is your choice, but you can't force somebody to get rid of a relationship because you fucking stepped in. That's a very, and it's also manipulative. Like you're saying like, "Oh, well now that you're with me, you can't have any of your friends. You can't have your life the way that you have." That's not what a relationship is. It is two people who come together who are whole and who have a separate life. If you just make your whole somebody else's whole life about you, that's not healthy, right? Like, you can't handle your significant other being around the opposite sex. You're a bitch baby. Honestly, you're a bitch baby and you should not be in a fucking relationship. You might as well just have a fucking princess and put her in a tower, and that should be your fucking girlfriend, because there's no way that she's not going to have any other encounters or friends that are males. It's just a dumb, ridiculous standard to have.
Manipulative. Manipulative. You had too many T's in there when you said it, but I'm not trying to be a. I'm not a judge or anything. I'm just saying.
Manipulative. I was being talking fast because I was talking fast. Shit. But no, it's just it is. It's dumb. It's really fucking dumb. That's like me being like, oh, if I had a girlfriend, right? Oh, you can't hang out with your girlfriends. You're all right. You can't hang out with your other girlfriends because I think that they're gonna fuck you. Like that. That's exactly what you're saying. That's
yeah.
exactly what you're saying. But it just sounds different when you say a male when it's a heterosexual couple. Um, but that's exactly what you're saying. You can't be around anybody that I think is going to try to fuck you. And in a sense, like yes, that's okay. But like if you know somebody really is like going to go after you and stuff like that, yes, there is a respect thing, but not if they're a friend. There's no reason, and I know some people use that friend card as a way um, to be like, oh, they're just my friend, but like like low key they would fuck them. Like that's a different thing. Um, but it's really just a male ego that can't handle it, and that's why I say men are bitches.
Okay, play that.
I mean, I don't want my. Listen, I'm married. And my wife, it's like 14 years, and then we were together forever before that. But like, I mean, I don't go out of my way to not hang out with other females. You know, my friends that are single that have female friends that are single, they might be around. That would be the, but it's, I mean, it's obviously not a problem. But I don't need my wife. I don't. I really don't. I wouldn't like my wife to have male friends. That she, I mean, whether you want to believe it or not, it's not a insecurity. It's just it's it's a recipe for a bad situation. I mean, it's just that's kind of a fact. You know what I'm saying? And like the whole gaslighting of, oh, you're insecure, you shouldn't have a relationship. Then it's like, no, not really. That's not it. That's not it.
Okay, but let me tell you this. I understand from the point of like if they are like friends, like they are literally friends, it doesn't make sense. Like, would you keep that same energy if they had a female friend that was gay? That's my question. Because is it the just because it's a male and you're worried about them getting raped because males do that shit and because they're pieces of shit, or are you worried about the fact that they might fuck? Because if they're worried about the fact that they might fuck, then that is an insecurity because you're worried about that, because that either means that you don't trust her or you obviously don't trust him. um but the only way that that would be an issue is if it was rape, right? um
But it's also that, dude. Like, it would have to be a really, like unique situation, maybe, because I have a female friend. I don't. She's married with kids and stuff, and I don't seen her. I don't see her regularly at all. But I grew up with this girl, lived across the street from me. Her older brothers were my older brother's age. We were like family, and she's very good. Everybody that I was friends with, because we hung out a lot. My mom would babysit her, this friend of mine. Like, we grew up together, and she was like a sister to me. And I would have friends that were like, she looks like Carrie Underwood. Dude, hook me up. I'd be like, no, ew. You know what I mean? Like, but like, it would have to be a unique situation for my wife to have a male friend. She goes way back with that, because you, it's simple psychology. Dudes will. I know what dudes think.
Dudes rape, that's what it is. Dudes rape, and you're either scared of her getting raped or you're scared that they gonna fuck, which means that you just don't trust the situation, that they're if they're alone together that they're gonna fuck. Like, what else is there? People want to be like, oh, it's just a bad situation. What situation? What tell me the fucking situation that is bad. It's either that they are going to fuck or that she's gonna get raped. So which one is it? Please tell me, because I need, it's not the fact that, oh, it's just dudes and no, there's something and y'all are not saying it. So please be specific.
Okay, you can call it an insecurity, but I think that if going into a relationship, uh, that I would probably have, if I had an idea that, her and her male friend, they have like a weird thing, and it bothered me. That would be an issue from the jump, and it probably wouldn't go to any further than just, we wouldn't be dating, like, we wouldn't be like together. Probably. I don't want to have to worry about stuff like that, and it's a red flag. Whatever. But I'm not worried about, yeah, dude. Like, you're saying it. That's the definition. Of course, I'm worried. I'd be worried that they're gonna fuck. Like, if I said that, if I didn't say that, I'd be lying. But it's like, it's not. It's unfair to say, oh, you're insecure and you shouldn't. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody feels that way. You're a female. You should know yourself. Females are emotional creatures.
Ooh, let's not start with the females are emotional creatures. Listen,
Damn.
I'm gonna be honest. If I feel like anybody is gonna fuck, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Whether I am with a male or whether I am with a female. And you wanna say that it's not insecurity. You're worried. The key word is worried that they are going to fuck. That is an insecurity. Because if they do, what does that mean about yourself? So yes, it is an insecurity. You just don't want to say that it is. But it is. Because if you were secure with yourself, for example, when I had my relationship with my male, he had female friends, and I'm gonna be honest. Before, when I was insecure, I would always strip him, like, why are you hanging out with them? Da 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 da. But once I became insecure in my fucking self, I did not care. I let him fucking go. I did not care. You know why? Because I wasn't insecure, and whether they fucked or not, I knew it had nothing to do with me. Because if he did, then I know what my next choice was, is to either I stay with him or I leave. Most likely I would have left. But it is an insecurity. It is because you're worried.
I have
So,
emotions, so
huh?
I
Yeah.
have emotions like a female. But yeah, I have more emotions though.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You're not worried. I don't care. You saying you don't care. That, yeah, says you right now on the stereo, which is a fucking social media app. You're saying that. I doubt it. I have that. I find that hard to believe.
Okay, you can doubt it, but like I said, I'm telling you that I was not like this before. I was not like this before. So, yes, was I worried? Yes. At some point I was worried and I didn't want him to have female friends and I didn't want him, and then I realized I could not do that. Whether it happens or not, I have to be insecure with myself, because the other part, I can't control other people. And the more that I get older and older, I'm understanding and I'm learning to let go about what the fuck people do to me and what people around me fucking do. So you're saying, oh, I'm saying on a nap, but I'm telling you, yes, I used to be that way. I used to be worried. I used to be insecure. I used to be jealous. I used to go through people's phones. I used to not want my man to have female friends. So yes, it gets in that aspect. I'm saying yes, I've been there. And that's why I'm saying it, because I've been there. So whether you believe me or not, sir, it doesn't affect me. It does not affect me one fucking bit. Um, but and you're saying I'm full of shit, and that's exactly why I'm glad that I can read this shit, because yeah, you don't need to be fucking talking. I'm not talking to you. Sorry to make all of your claims. Yeah, you're cut off. You can go. I'm not playing any of your fucking messages anymore. But thank you. Um, because there's no fucking need. But as I was saying, I've been there before. And the only reason that people do that and they try to control the people that are around other people is because they're worried about something happening. And what if this happens, or what if they choose to? And I feel like men are more worried about what their woman is going to choose, right? Because if you were just worried about them being raped, you know, and this is a friend that they've had for years. Years. I'm not talking about some random fucking person that comes in and out and says, hey, I'm in fucking town. You want to hang out? No, I mean like their actual friend. All right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about some random people. I'm talking about year-long friends that have been friends and they've never fucked, they never done anything, because I'm telling you, if two people wanted to, they would, right? So you being there and not being there has nothing to do with that, because if they wanted to, they would have done it. Not just because you're now in the relationship, now they're gonna fucking do it, you know? So that ain't got nothing to do with shit. But I'm just saying, because I've been there, and it's not worth your mental health, honestly. It's not worth you putting yourself in a state of anxiety. And if it's not for fucking you, and you're like, hey, I need a girl that doesn't have male friends, that's perfectly fine. Go do that. Find somebody who feels the exact way, because there are women that do. But don't force somebody to be something that they're not. Don't force somebody to get rid of their friends when, for what? For a relationship that's probably not gonna fucking last anyway. So then you're gonna have to go crying back to your friend and be like, I'm sorry, it didn't really work out. No, that's fucked up. Especially if you've been friends for fucking years. That makes no fucking sense. If you're friends for just, you know, if you guys were just like acquaintances, and I think a lot of people get the word friends different from
Yeah.
acquaintances, because acquaintances are, I went to school with this person. I have a conversation with them a few fucking times, or I went to their party like one or two times, or I met them at some fucking bar. That's not a fucking friend. That is an acquaintance. If you are with acquaintances that are males, that's different because they're trying to fuck. More than likely, they are trying to fuck. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, but friends are different. And I mean friends that you built an emotional connection with as a friend, not as anything else. Like it and it doesn't make sense because if you put this in the opposite perspective, if it wasn't heterosexual and it was just a gay person, you're not gonna tell a gay man that he can't have other gay men friends. Like, it doesn't make sense for that to even be a conversation, right? So like, why when it comes to hetero, it's just all of a sudden it's fucking different. Like, I'm not gonna tell my female friend or my female partner that she can't hang out with her female friends that are gay because I'm worried about them fucking.
I want to be worried about them. Shit.
Like, it don't make fucking sense. But only hetero people, and it's mostly just the fucking men. I'm not gonna say there are women that are like, why the fuck you have like female friends? And I've seen it. I've seen it and I've heard it, and I still think it's dumb. Coming from both sides, whether you're a male or a fucking female, I still think that it's dumb. Um, that just means that you don't trust them. And that means that you don't trust yourself to pick somebody that wouldn't cheat on you. That just means that you're insecure. And if people get mad when I say insecure, it's I'm not okay. If I were to reword it, it means the same thing. But you're scared of being vulnerable and having somebody else betray you. That's exactly what it is, which is an insecurity. You're insecure about yourself because if somebody cheats on you or does something, like, what does that mean about you? That means that you didn't pick a person that wouldn't do that.
I definitely hear what you're saying. I get that. And that mindset that you're talking about is the reason that I just decided to stay single, because I do have that mindset, that jealousy mindset. And I am a gay man. And so, it's like, as a gay man, I have gay friends. And that's who I hang out with. I don't really hang out with a lot of females, but I have female friends too. But that's who I hang out with. And I've just realized that I can't handle it, and that's something that I have to deal with within myself. Like, that's my problem, and I don't want to put that on anybody else. It's not their fault. It's my fault, and I have an issue, and because of that, like, I'm just outside of relationships right now, like, not interested, far outside of it, because I'm not trying to put anybody through anything that just doesn't even make sense. Doesn't make sense. If I can't handle it, then it's not for me, and I shouldn't put myself through that. Moreover, not the other person. It's not their fault that I have these insecurities.
That's
I
what's up.
come That's what's up. I completely agree. Like, it makes no sense to um like, and I'm really happy. Like, I think that everyone deserves love, and I do think that you deserve love 100%. But I do think
You
that, like,
do.
taking that time to understand, like, hey, I need to be secure with myself, no matter whether I'm in a relationship, I'm at a relationship. People can do shit to me, and it's probably gonna hurt, but I'm secure in myself to know that I'm going to be okay. I don't need a man, or I don't need a relationship to be okay, and I'm okay with myself. And having that space of you being single for a little bit, and trusting yourself is going to help that a lot. I don't think that jealousy is a normal thing, and it's okay to be jealous. What's not okay is trying to control other people because you're jealous. You can be jealous in a relationship. I think that's really normal. If you're not jealous, like, you're just,
Yeah.
I think it's very normal. There's been times where I've gotten jealous, but I didn't say, well, because I'm jealous, now you can't talk to that person. Or because I'm jealous, now I need to
Mm.
look at your phone, or you need to give me your location. Because then that's just being controlling. Have I done that in the
Yeah,
past?
that is
Absolutely.
controlling.
I've done that in the past, and I'm like, and now I look
My
back at that, and I'm like,
my old
why?
friend,
Why did I do that?
that I used to be friends with, where we used to be girlfriends, boyfriend and girlfriend, basically back then. But um uh, she's dating a woman now, but her woman's controlling her.
Yeah, no. Men just like to control women. I'm okay. For example, I'm gonna say heterosexual men. I feel like they're just naturally they want to control women, and that's why they want somebody that's submissive, and they want somebody that doesn't have male friends, and they only have female friends. Like it's a controlling aspect to that. So it's like you can say whatever you want, but that's what I see it as. I feel like it's just a control tactic, and they want to act like, no, it makes sense. Like, I don't have female friends. You don't have female friends because nobody wants to fuck you, right? Because I guarantee that you could have a a female friend, um that's that you're not attracted to, but you don't want that because you're a man. What you want is you want to have a female friend that's hot so you could try to fuck her. That's why you don't have female friends. Or you don't have female friends because you're just a dick, right? And so every time that somebody
Mm-hmm.
wants to hang out with you, you think that they're always trying to fuck you. Nobody wants your dick, sir. All right? Like, that's why you don't have fucking female friends. So don't bring your fucking I don't have female friends ass over here, because I know really good men that do have female friends. I have male friends, but I do see them as like a brother, but they're not my biological brother, so yes, it would be a friend. Um, but yeah, no, not gonna fucking happen. Like it's not even something that even crosses my fucking mind. And like I said, if it just doesn't make sense. But let me play this message.
I get that, and I agree 100%. I've been single for, I think it's going on 8 years now, and I'm not, looking for a relationship. I'm not desperate for it. I actually find peace in my solitude. I do, but like I said, that's something that it exists within me, and I had to find a peace in my solitude because outside of it, being in a relationship, outside of my solitude, being in a relationship, I am controlling. Like, I don't know how to control my jealousy. I don't know how to control my insecurities, and I do control the other person. And it's very toxic. It's very toxic. I don't know if I'm ever going to get over that. And it's only ever going to work in a relationship for me if I have somebody with me that's, in a similar mindset where we agree on this, insecurity situation, and we both like, because I'm the type, like, I'm not trying to, if something makes my partner uncomfortable, I won't do it, and I'm okay with that.
Hmm. Oh, I
I
get
like
it.
his I like his voice, by the way.
I know, and like he's so cute.
I
He's
just had to put that
cute.
out there.
And I know that might sound bad, like for me to say, like, I'm okay with that. I won't feel like I'm being controlled. It's something that I'm willing to give because it's something that I expect. And that's the part where I'm saying, like, it's not okay that I expect that. So I can't have a partner in my life that wouldn't expect the same of me regarding my expectations. Like, I'll match that energy, and we could definitely make a relationship work. I mean, my last relationship was 10 years long, but I do feel like I definitely oppressed him, and I just didn't want him hanging out with other guys, and he's gay. Like, we're gay. Like, and I didn't want him hanging out with other guys, and it was a great relationship, but he had a similar mindset to an extent, because you know, similar mindset. But he was also very social and outgoing, and if not for my relationship, he could have had like a better social life, that suits him and who he is. I know who I am, so I just don't want to do it because I'm not ready.
No, that makes sense. 100%. Um, that's why I was also saying, like, there are people who have a similar way of thinking, and when those two people are in a relationship, it works really well because they understand what they would want, and the other person feels the exact same way. Someone like me, um, I am an introvert. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to, hey, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna hang out or whatever, I might get a little flirty. Shit. Like, and I don't mean that I'm gonna fuck anybody. It's just I might get a little flirty. And it's just cause it's just it is what it is. And I need somebody to be okay with that. But I'm not gonna do anything. It's just I might get a little flirty. I like to flirt.
Thank you guys. The voice, the cute, I like it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know what I also noticed? I'm like, I find gay men attractive. I do, and I've always found gay men attractive. I've always done it. Every time I wanted, I was like, "Ooh, this person's cute. Ooh, I would like date." They're like, "I'm gay," and I'm like, "Well,
Yeah,
well,
I was like there were I was like gay men. They had like a unique voice. Like they that's why I love it. They are attractive too.
yeah." Because like gay men, I'm not trying to say like like they're a little bit more feminine for me, and like I don't like that
Yeah,
masculine type of man shit. Like I don't like that all that muscle and all that bulkness. I'm like I'm scared. You scared me, sir. But if I see like but even if I see like a gay man that's like kind of like cut and he's like strong and stuff, I'm like he's still cute. Like I just feel more safe. Like I'm like oh he seems cute. Um, but yeah, I think it just overall finding that balance of somebody that has the same morals and values. I think that's all it comes down to. Um, when having that conversation of whether men and females can be friends or not, I think it just boils down to what you're willing to accept in your life in a relationship and what you're not. Some people will accept more, other people don't. Some people like polyamorous relationships, which is very new to me, but and they're okay with that. And I think like that part of like even though there is jealousy in polyamorous relationships, but it takes a different type of mindset to be in that, you know? And some people don't have it. Some people try it and they realize that it's not for them because they're very jealous. um, and like for me, I would probably thrive in a polyamorous relationship just because I don't like to feel controlled. I will get into a relationship because I'm like, oh, I need a relationship. I want to be in a relationship. As soon as I get into a relationship, I want to get out. Like, I'm not comfortable being in a relationship where I feel controlled or in any aspect, or feel like I can't do something. I don't know if I was just born to be single or born to be in a polyamorous relationship, but that's just the type of personality I have. I like to flirt. I'm gonna fucking flirt. It doesn't mean that I actually give a fuck about them. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna go home with them. It doesn't mean it means absolutely nothing. I just think it's funny, and sometimes I think it's funny to lead men on by me flirting, and then I'm like, all right, bye, because men are so fucking gullible sometimes. So like, that's just how I am. I would probably thrive in a polyamorous relationship where it's like open, like an open relationship, but not to where like but to the point where it's like we still have that respect and we're like, hey, I want to do something with somebody, like okay, like you can, but you gonna have to get tested before you touch me, um
yeah.
because I
I
just
had him
I
up here
can't.
and said,
No.
"Hold on, how the heck do you cross?"
I totally agree with that, Cece. Like, And that's where I messed up about it. I don't do it on purpose, but it's like it happens, but I don't realize I'm doing it until I'm told by my partner that they felt like I was flirting. People talk to me and I talk to people like when we go out together, I have people come up to me and just have a conversation with me. Now, I'm just trying to have a conversation, but I don't realize, that the other person might have been flirting because, I'm not an outsider looking in. But my partner will be like, he was definitely flirting with you and you entertained that. And like, why did you do that? I don't realize that, like I'm introverted, but at the same time, like when I'm out and about, I will have a conversation with people and, I'll entertain it. I'll laugh and I'll joke with them, but I get how that would come off that way because if I was the one watching my partner just socialize with people coming up to him and, obviously flirting with him, but he's just talking, it, would bother me. And that's, I don't have a right mindset. I don't. That's why I don't want to be in a relationship because I don't want to do that to anybody. I know who I am. I know my toxic traits and I know that it's not fair. It's not right. And like I said, I'm very controlling. I'm a very dominant, personality, a very dominant, significant other. And, I've always been that way and I expect things to go my way. I'm not like aggressive and crazy or, outrageous about it, but I can get pretty mad about a situation that I don't agree with. The problem with that is just because I don't agree with it doesn't make it a wrong situation. It's just something that I viewed the way I viewed it and I didn't like it and then I become upset and, you know, I start to become controlling and, you can't talk to this person, you can't hang out with this person. That's so toxic. That is so toxic. And I don't know how to get over that. And because of that, it's just better that I stay alone. It really is.
Yeah. I think the only way to truly get over that is to find security in yourself. You have to be secure in yourself. And um I would recommend you do a lot of shadow work. Just cuz it's gonna help. It's gonna help with you understanding why you get jealous. There's a reason of why you get jealous, right? So like you need to start asking your questions like why? Why am I feeling this way? When was the last time I felt this way? Why am I getting mad about something? Like I get jealous over my friend, and I realize that too. And like this is not just something that happens with spouses. This is something that also happens or could happen with your friendships because I have a really good friendship with one of my friends, and I swear to you, she hung out with another girl, and I kind of got a little bit jealous. I kind of got a little bit mad, but I was like, okay, I'm not going. Why the fuck am I mad? And I'm over here like, why the fuck am I mad? Um, and I realized that, and I was like, why am I mad? And I was mad because I was worried about her liking another person more than me, and then her spending more time with that other person than me. And it's like, that's why because of I'm insecure. I'm insecure about, about people liking more than one people, or liking people more than me, especially when it's like my best friend, right? And so I was like, okay, but like, see, the toxic person, if we were in a relationship, to be like, why are you with her? You didn't tell me you were meeting with her, da 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 da. But like, I was like, no, I gotta sit here and I gotta figure this out. Why the fuck am I mad? Like, we're not even together. Like, this doesn't make sense. You just my friend. Why the fuck am I mad? And I talked myself through it, and I feel like that's what it was. I'm scared of being abandoned, and that's honestly, I think that's a majority of people. Of why they get jealous is because they're afraid of being abandoned. They don't want somebody else to choose, or they feel like they're not good enough, and that somebody else can take them away from them. So it's like it's those pure like little things that if you work internally on, that jealousy will go away.
I have actually, and thank you for having me up here, old lady. Thank you, Sky,
You're
for
welcome.
bringing me up here.
Yeah.
I have definitely done some introspection regarding my insecurities, and I do know like what it is. Like I am afraid to be hurt. I don't want to sit there crying and crying and crying and hurting over somebody doing something behind my back that I wouldn't do behind their back. I don't cheat. I'm not a cheater. Sex doesn't mean anything. As a matter of fact, I can't even
Facts.
forgive what I'm about to say. I don't mean any weirdness about it, but I can't even achieve like a proper erection just to have sex with somebody. Like it doesn't do anything for me. Love does it for me. So I'm not a cheater. I just want that one, and that's all I want. And so because I am that person, I'm scared for me to be with somebody that is not like me in that way where they can cheat on me, and it will be easy for them to just get aroused by somebody else and just have sex with them, even though they don't have any feelings for them. They just can do it. I can't
Hmm.
do that. That's really difficult for me. I can't do that, so I won't do that. And by that way, I just feel like that's a protection for my significant other, for them to know for sure like I'm not going to do it. You don't have to worry about it. But there's too many people out there that are very much not like me in that way. And so because of me like understanding that about, people, I can't wrap my head around having a proper relationship and not having these insecurities and these concerns. It's always going to be in the back of my mind, and I'm always going to wonder.
Have you
And I
have you
think,
heard of demisexual?
yes, I'm a demisexual. That is who I am
Right,
exactly.
right.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like I'm kind of a demisexual. Like don't get me wrong, like I will, like DJ my own party, but for the most part when it comes to people, I can't. Like I get very uncomfortable and I feel like I need somebody to be like have that close connection to somebody for me to really want to. And
Right.
um and I used to be a whore, but I still didn't gain anything from it.
Back
I
in my
didn't
whole
gain
days.
anything from it. I was just, I was because I was kind of like you. Like I kind of felt like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not like having like? Why am I not coming? Why am I not like in the moment? Like why can't I? So I was like, let me just keep doing it and see if it gets better, which didn't help at all.
I mean, I put myself out there, and being single as long as I have been, don't get me wrong, it's not like I've been, without encounters, sexual encounters. I'm a man, of course, I got needs. Sometimes I'll, have an encounter with somebody, but it, doesn't always go great. And I don't want to go into detail, you know what I'm saying? But,
Yeah.
sometimes I just have that desire, that need that needs to be fulfilled. But it's not even part of who I actually am.
Hmm.
I'm different, and I don't know. I forgot where I was going with that because you said something just a little bit ago that I was gonna touch on, but I already forgot what that was. Sorry.
Was it about like the demisexual?
Well, no. Well, the demisexual, yeah, that's a thing too for me. Like I gotta be in love. Love
Yeah.
arouses me, and I can only love one person, so it can only ever be for one person.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe try to find a group chat with people who are demisexual.
True.
Like, or find people that have a similar um
Mindset.
mind, or yeah, a similar mindset. And it's a little bit hard because people are pieces of shit and they lie and they're like, yeah, me too. but um but you can actually tell, the people who are demisexual and who aren't, because like if you hang out with them two times and they're like, all right, I'm ready, and then you're like, all right, you're really not, so it kind of
Yeah.
is easy to spot them out because you can tell when the ones are lying and the ones that aren't lying.
Agreed. I know like where my issue stems from regarding, my insecurities with relationships in general. My first relationship, he was a big liar. Like, I mean, I gave him all the freedom in the world. Like, I was working third shift, and, I'm an old cat, just so you know. I'm not young. I'm older than Google. We'll just say that for sure. And um cell phones weren't like a great thing that was out there with everybody like they are now. Everybody and their mama got one. But back then, I was working, doing my third shift thing, and I had a boyfriend. I was 18, and I was like, all right, I work third shift, so I'm sleeping during the day. So I just decided, all right, when I get out of work, I call him and I'm like, here, come pick up my cell phone. And I had the home phone, and I always had it right next to my bed. And I would tell him like, if anytime you want to call me or talk to me, just here's my cell phone. Take it, do what you want to do, but call me with my cell phone, and then you can talk to me anytime you want to. And I did that, but I found out more and more and more through our friends. We had similar group of friends that he was doing like things behind my back, including drugs and all this stuff, and I hated it. I was like, man, I didn't even realize that that was going to be something that I had to concern myself with. I thought everything was great. Like, I'm trying to be great for you. I'm a good boyfriend, and I thought you would, just match that energy naturally, but no. There was a lot of bad things going on behind my back, and the drugs was a big one for me. There was one time where I tried to relate to him, and I was just like, okay, if you're gonna do the drugs, let me just try to accept it and, try to understand you. And then one day he was like, here, do you want to do it? And I was like, no. We had kind of broken up, but didn't like we got back together, and we were at a party, and I was still trying to understand his drug addiction. And then he was like, here, just do a line. And I looked at him, I was like, I don't want to do it. He was like, do it. I was like, all right, just to like match his energy just to show him that I care enough. I took the straw and I put it by my nose, but I moved to the side and I just blew all of the powder, the line off of the table inconspicuously, and I told him, "All right, there, I did it." Just to make him feel like, you know, I care enough and I'm trying to understand you and I want to be here with you. But it was never worth it. All my insecurities and relationships with men came from that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say something like you better than me because I had to deal with somebody who was also on drugs and their choice of drugs was meth, and they told me to do it and I did, but it was also coming from the point of like where is he coming from and how is how does he deal with it or whatever. So I kind of did it for about 3 weeks and then I got pregnant, so I had to stop, obviously. But I understood. I kind of got to understand like how the withdrawals were, and I kind of understood it a little bit more. But still, like, damn, like, and I know I wasn't addicted to it as much because I had only did it for 3 weeks and he's been doing it for years. So I don't know it to that much of an extent. But I was like, shit, I had my kid and I got the fuck off. So like, I'm not saying that that people who deal with addictions, it's more than just the addiction itself. It's an internal thing. It's a mental thing that goes with it. Um, because there could be many reasons of why they choose to do that. It's not just because they like it and it feels good. It's a mental thing. Um, and it goes
Yeah,
very
drugs are
deep.
a numbing aid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, 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 you're good. But yeah, like it's more of a mental thing. So, but still, like I have sympathy to those people who are on drugs and they've been on drugs for a long time. But it really is just a choice. You just choose to not do it, and you don't do it. The problem with why they can't is because when you choose not to do it, you have to face other problems. You have to come back to reality. And sometimes it's too much for them, so they can't, they want to escape again, and that's why they do it. But it, you just make the choice not to do it. That's it's really simple. It's hard, but it's simple. Um, so yeah, but hats off to you to not doing it because I did, and it was not fun. It was fun from when it started, but it ended terribly.
Yeah, when things get real at a certain point in time. I've always been scared of street drugs. Just, I got a big family and I've watched some pretty bad stuff happen through drug abuse, and I don't want to be a part of that. But I'm not, so innocent. I've had my bouts with certain things, but like right now I'm an alcoholic and it's an escape. And that's the thing about addicts is they just want to escape pain. They want to escape certain things and something to make them feel better in a moment where they're not thinking too much or feeling too much. And that's pretty much what alcohol does for me.
I love alcohol. It's my choice of drugs. Like it's my
I love
choice. I
alcohol
used
too.
to be. I used to, well, I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic, but like I would wake up and drink, you know what I mean? So it was like kind of bad, right? Like that was the first thing that was on my mind was I had to get up and drink. So, but I do get it, but I do realize that like the reason that I was doing it was because I was trying to, but well, I don't even know why we chose alcohol to be honest. I stopped, but I drink here and there, but I'm not an alcoholic anymore. But I chose
I do the
alcohol because
same way. I drink here and there, but I'm not an
yeah,
alcoholic.
yeah, I drink here and
Well,
there, but I'm not an alcoholic.
I could say honestly, like I'm an alcoholic. I drink daily. And I was just like you said, Cece, like you wake up and that's the first thing you want to do. And some things happened to my body, and I was told that I was like in the beginning stages of pancreatitis because
My
I
dad
was just in a lot
had
of
that.
pain. Yeah, I was
Hmm.
in a
My
lot of
dad
pain in
had
my upper
that.
stomach and then in my kidney area and my like the back, the lower left side of my back. And I was like, whoa. And I couldn't even go to work because it was just debilitating. So I went to the hospital and I found out that I'm in the beginning stages of pancreatitis, but it can be reversed and I don't have to deal with that if I slow down. After that, I realized like, all right, you can't be waking up thinking about taking that bottle right away. So I have, disciplined myself to like wake up and just be present, be present minded and just do whatever, It doesn't always feel great, but it's better than feeling the health, adverse effects on your health from being an alcoholic. But I do have to have a drink every day. So I try to spread it out, like I keep my mind sober for like 10 hours or so at a time, but then I'm just waiting for that moment that I set for myself where I can have that drink.
I have a question. Can I psychoanalyze you real quick?
Sure, I don't mind at all.
Okay. So this is an exercise, and you can't say I don't know, right? You have to give me an answer. You have to give me a real answer, whether it makes sense to you or not, because there's a part of you that believes it, right? So my first question is, what um what are you trying to hide from other people? Like, what about yourself is not good enough?
My biggest issue with myself like is letting people close enough to me to know who I am. I have an exuberant personality. I'm very childish with, fun in a fun way. Like, I'm a child's play kind of person and I'm goofy. I'm a dork. I'm just, high energy and a goofy dork. But people aren't always so accepting of that. People sometimes want you to be chill, laid back, like I sound right now. And, but when it comes down to it, like I like to crack stupid jokes and make stupid laughs, laugh at stupid things and say stupid stuff. Like that's who I am. And I fear people rejecting me because of that because I'm not a bad person and I genuinely actually do like interacting with people and having a good time with people. I've always been like that since I'm a kid and I've learned throughout the years that people aren't always so accepting of your personality and that breaks me down like cuz I'm not a bad person and there was this one time where my brother asked me, we were at a gym, we were real little, like I think we were like 10, 11 years old. We went to the gym with my grandma because she had to always go, swimming, keep her body moving, keep it active from her doctor telling her this. So one time she took us to the gym with her and she said, you guys can do whatever you want. And I remember we were walking up the stairs and this lady said something, I don't know, she was walking down, we were walking up and she just started a little bit of a conversation and being so young as me and my brother were, I started just laughing with her and having a conversation with her for a little bit of a second. And then when she was done, when we passed each other and we walked away, my brother was like, how can you just talk to people like that? Like, you don't even know her and you just have a whole conversation as if you just always knew her. And that's just my personality. That's just how I am. But a lot of people are not nice, and you can't just be that person that's just willing to go up to anybody and, hey, what's up? How are you? What's your
Mm-hmm.
story? I'll tell you mine kind of thing. You can't do that with people because people reject you in the worst way, and they treat you like you're the scum of the earth sometimes. And I bury myself in myself because of that
Yeah. So you're scared of showing who you are
rejection.
and your fear of rejection. What else are you
Yeah.
scared of?
Me, I
Oh,
was
I mean
always
that
hiding stuff.
encompasses a lot. That's a big question. That's a broad question, you know.
So, okay, what are you scared of people seeing about you? Like if you were to create this, because everyone has a mask. Everyone has the idea of what they want other people to see of them. What would be like the worst version that somebody could think about you?
This is gonna sound really superficial and, whatever, but this day and age in my life, my worst fear is that people are gonna think I'm ugly.
You're not
I
Okay.
ugly.
don't know why that matters to me so much. I have no idea why that matters to me so much because I'm so much more than my outward appearance. Like I'm a great
Why do you
person.
have a fear that they think that you're ugly? Why is that your fear?
I don't I don't know. Like I would say like I'm a vanity whore. I've always been a vanity whore, and like even like when I was a teenager, really young, if I was just gonna go to the corner store real quick just to go grab a bag of chips or something, I would have to do my hair, take a shower, make sure, I'm looking good, I'm looking right, and dress nice, clean, nice clothes, all of that, just to go to the corner store. After I pick up that bag of chips or whatever, come home, take it all off and just chill and relax. Like I've always been like trying to look good for people. I don't even know why that is.
You
So
patriarch.
approval for people. That's what that is. You need approval of others, right?
Oh yeah, I do. I definitely, rely on other people's approval.
Your patriarch is both
Why
sides.
is your own approval not good enough? Why do you have to look outwards to find it?
That's gonna stem from my growing up. When I was younger, when we were like really young with my brothers, even my dad would shit on me about my appearance. I was the chubby
Same.
one. My brothers were always out here. They had the abs, they had the body, and we were so young, like preteen young, really young. They would be in the
Mhm.
room working out and, doing sit-ups, doing push-ups, doing all this. And I'm just like, I don't want to do all that. Like, where's my cupcake at? And
I'm
stuff like
I'm
that.
I'm
And,
the
I
same way.
was a little bit chubby.
Mhm.
I'm pretty chubby myself.
Yeah,
So
so
you
I grew up with that, but then my brothers would make fun of me about it, and then they would let their friends make fun of me about it, and then like even my dad, when he wasn't present, I have a stepdad. He wasn't present much, my real dad, but when he would come around, he would berate me regarding my body type, and he would make me like work out and run up hills. We would go by the lakefront, and he would make me run up these hills, up and down, up and down, up and down multiple times. And when I was getting tired and worn out, sweaty, and just struggling to get up the hill again, he would just be like, "Go, go, you gotta go, go, you could do it, go." And like he wasn't very nice about it.
Yeah. So I hear you telling me the right answer. The right answer is yes, that it stemmed from your childhood, but the real answer is a little bit deeper. So I understand, like, you don't, you have that insecurity, and you need to be good because you were bullied. But I'm trying to get a little bit deeper here. So again, my question is, why is your approval of yourself not good enough? Why do you
Because
think? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, because like I said, when I was younger, being made fun of like that, I approved of myself. I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. I was fine. I didn't see any issues. Like, but then, being made fun of by my brothers, and then when my dad would chime in and make fun of me too, he would call me fat. He would poke at my stomach. He would tell me like he would call it sugar lumps. Like, look at all these sugar lumps you have. And my brothers
Yeah.
would laugh at me too, and they would say things. And my dad, you know should have been like, stopping it, but how would he stop it when he's also participating? And I was the focal point of, the being berated by my own dad and my two brothers, the people who should be the most to you, closest to you. I was made to feel like I wasn't good enough.
That's it. That's it right there. That you feel like you're not good enough, right?
Yeah.
Because you were basically, pushed into believing that you were not good enough. Um,
Yeah.
so what is it going to take for you to feel like you're good enough? What do you need to have? What do you need to achieve? Or, you know, when will you think that you are good enough? Do you think that you're good enough now?
That's a good question regarding what is it going to take. I don't even know if I knew that answer. I would definitely not be where I'm at, today, like being
You
toxic
do
the
know
way I
the
am in
answer, you're just
relationships.
stepping it down. You know the answer. Like I said, this exercise you can't say I don't know. There's gonna be resistance to things, and you're gonna feel a lot of emotions. Stay with those emotions. And if it doesn't even make sense, just say it, because that's that's whether it makes sense or not, that's what you believe inside. And it's your subconscious that controls that. So sometimes it's not gonna make any fucking sense. Right.
Right. And
Um,
believe me, the questions you're asking me, I definitely ask myself. Like, that's how I've come to terms with who I am, where I'm at. That's why I can answer your questions with such ease because I've already answered them for myself. When I ask myself the questions that you're asking me, I definitely have asked myself these questions already. I sit with myself, I do introspection, and that's how I understand where it stems from, how it happened, why I am where I am today. So, like I said, like for me to understand what it's going to take to change that. I really am still trying to work that out. Like, what is it going to take? Am I the oldest one on
well,
this
what do
panel?
you
What are you
believe that
guys'
it would
age?
take? If I was
My
a genie and I could give you anything that you want to feel, for you to be free, as free as you want, what would you ask?
I would
absolutely,
ask to be freed from the memories of being berated when I was younger and being made to feel not good enough, because that
Mm,
would
absolutely.
be like my release. And it's not like it wasn't being berated by, random people. I That happens, going to school, you're always going to get that, that's a part of growing up. But for me, it was just having that from the people that I looked up to the most, my brothers and my dad, and just being berated by them, that's the ultimate for me. It's like, damn, if I'm not good enough for them, it validates what anybody else might say about me because it must be right.
right.
And I
I
get
will say your past is something that nobody can change, right? Your past is a part is not is pat your past is what happens to you, but it's not something that has to be a part of you, right? So, for example, I'll take myself. I was, you know, um, sexually assaulted before, and that is part of my past, and it's something that was fucked up, and it was a fucked up thing that happened to me. Um, but that's not a part of me. Just because something like that bad had happened does not mean um, that I have to carry a lot of emotion with the experiences. Everyone in life, we go through experiences, good and bad. But a lot of times we attach ourselves to these experiences that happen to us. And learning how to let go of that emotion and let go of the emotions that come with the trauma or what comes with those experiences, and just purely see them as experiences, um, is what is a way for you to be able to let go of that. Um, and I know it's very hard. Um, it's very hard because a lot of times we tend to see ourselves um, as still that same person, but we're not. So here, I'm gonna do a different exercise. Let's say I'm 10-year-old you, and I'm like, I want to be free. I don't want to feel this way anymore. Can you just stop making me feel this way? Like I want to be free. Can you just do that for me? What would you tell me?
regarding me being my 10-year-old self.
Yeah, if I was your 10-year-old self, and I'm looking at you and I see that you're older and I see that you're fit and I see that you've done a lot in your life, and I come to you and I'm like, "Hey, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want to feel free. I want to um I want to feel like I'm enough. Like am I enough?"
I guess like I would have to say like you are enough. You've always been enough for yourself because I've always felt that way. As weird as it might sound, I am like no, because that doesn't even make sense. But I'll say like I'm confident, but I feel like it is false confidence. But I exude confidence when I'm around people. Lately in my life, maybe over the past couple of years, that's diminishing. I don't know why, but and it's affecting me today. Like I don't know why it's diminishing, and I'm reverting right back to when I was a child and felt inferior. I have no idea why that's been happening over the past couple of years, but I would just tell myself you are enough. But the thing for me
Well,
was, oh, go ahead.
oh no, no, no. I want to role play this with you. I really want to role play and I want to see what comes up for you. Um but I don't feel like I'm enough. I need you to feel like you're enough so I can feel like I'm enough. And I don't feel like I'm enough. I feel like you're trying to pretend that to be enough, but I don't believe you. I don't believe that you think that I'm enough.
It would have to stem back from the fear of people's reaction to my level of confidence, which goes back to my brothers. They hated my level of confidence. I was in a very toxic family. I'll just, say it like that. Like one of my brothers is in jail for murder. The other one should have
Damn.
been, or he's in prison for murder. The other one should have been, but he's not. Growing up, when I would fight, for, fight back regarding, them picking on me, it would be a physical fight. And, I've been choked out by them. It's physical fights, and I was never that type of person to want to hurt people, much less want to be hurt by people. And with my brothers, when they would berate me, if I fought back, it would turn into a physical fight, and I would have to do that. And I was never a fighter back then. That wasn't in my blood, wasn't who I was. I'm different now, and I think all that translates into like how I fight the way I do now. And I got a record. I've knocked people out, sent them to the hospital. I've got a lot of things now, and that's not even who I am to my core. That's just who I became because of how I grew up with my brothers. I'm angry inside, and I have all
Mm.
these mental issues regarding my self-confidence and things like that. And I become something that I don't even know this person anymore.
So tell me, who is this person? Who are you
Today,
at your core?
oh, I'm sweet, I'm soft, I'm open, I'm calm, laid back, very accepting, very understanding, non-judgmental.
And so
Same
did you
way.
feel like you have to put up this what this
Tough exterior, just
identity
tough
of being
exterior.
strong? Hmm?
Yeah, I had to because of growing up with my brothers. These were the things that, most people will go through in school, but I went through that in my home. When I would go through it in school, like most people do, I also had to come home to it, so
Damn.
it was tough.
Did you feel like you were able to protect yourself? Did you feel like you did a good job protecting yourself? Did you feel like you didn't have anybody to protect you?
I don't feel like I did a good enough job to protect myself because doing so in my own household would have required me to be, in physical fights with my own brothers. Did I have somebody to protect me? Yeah, my mom was always there. She was always there, always at my side. But that also became a part of the problem. I was called,
Same with my mom.
PUSSY because of it. Like, oh, you're always gonna run to mom. You're always running to mom, and something like that. So I was considered that by them, but it translates into who I am today. Like I don't know what to do
My mom
or how to
supports me
fix
in
it.
everything.
Yeah, my mom too.
Yeah, but it shaped who you are today, but that's not who you are. Who you were was that confident little boy, when you were 10 and you didn't, you had confidence about yourself no matter who was around, it's a bit hard.
I
'Cause
didn't I didn't even
I
I
go
was
ahead.
I was just saying, like, I didn't even think about myself in a bad way. Like, those weren't thoughts that went through my mind really until, growing up with my brothers and things got worse and worse. Like, thoughts didn't go through my mind about judging myself. Like, that never was a thing, never was. I was just comfortable with who I was, and I embraced myself fully. And they hated that because they had issues with themselves, and they were always, trying to break me down. Like, I would literally just be sitting there watching TV with them, and one of them or both of them would just come at me, whether it be just, why are you sitting like that? Why does literally one my younger brother, I don't know why this sticks with me, but this is like something amongst a few other things that sticks with me about it. It's like, this is how I was treated. Like, he was like, why do you rest your head like that? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he was like, well, why is your head resting like that? I'm like, it's resting on my shoulders. What do you mean? And, it's just not that he just says that, but you have to understand the look in his eyes. There was hatred, there was anger and hatred, and like he was legitimately like just pissed off about me sitting there the way I
Yeah.
was sitting there, and it pissed him off.
Yeah. So do you still judge yourself today?
Oh yes, I mean, every waking moment. My greatest peace is when I'm alone, but even then, like sometimes I'll find myself imagining like going out somewhere out of the house, and then immediately when I imagine that I'm gonna go out somewhere, all of a sudden I start to go through all of these things in my head, like, the judgment that might occur against me, and how people might think about me. What are they gonna think? Are they gonna think like, do I look stupid? Am I walking
Why
stupid?
is that important? Why is that more important to you than
It's
the approval of yourself? Why, when you go out, it was others' approval of you, which probably they're probably not even looking at you, but not the point. Why does that matter more than your own peace?
I guess because it's gonna disrupt my peace.
How so? If I say I don't like you, what's triggered? How does that disrupt your peace?
It makes me angry. It makes me want to fight. That, like I said, that'll go right back into my childhood growing up with my brothers when I didn't fight, and I felt so humiliated about it because they were fighters. That's just what they like to do, and they would fight people and hurt people, bloody noses, bloody mouths, swollen eyes, bruised eye, all this. Like, they did that. I didn't like that. Like, that's not who I am, and that's not what I want to do, kind of thing, when I was younger. So, now
So you
that's
said that you
like,
would get angry. Anger is a second emotion. What is the first? Is it embarrassment? Is it when you somebody doesn't like you or somebody says something about you and makes you angry, but under that anger, what is the emotion under that? Is it sadness? Is it shame? Is it embarrassment?
I wouldn't say it's embarrassment, but there is going to be like that sadness and that shame, like, because I'm being judged before you even know me, and you guys, the outsiders, want me to feel a certain way about myself, and that's what my brothers did to me. Like, just for me existing in your presence, something about me, you don't even know me, but something about me bothers you and might even piss you off, like it did my brothers, just for me existing in a moment. So there's that sadness and that shame. Like, I don't, I wouldn't judge people, but if they got to actually really know me, like, they would actually probably feel dumb for judging me or whatever, reacting however they would have reacted negatively. You don't even
Hmm.
know me. Like, I'm not even a bad person. I know, like, to this day now, like, I have bad character traits and I have been labeled a bad person, and I'll label myself a bad person for who I became, but for who I am to my core, I guess I protect that, with this bad personality trait, this aggressive personality trait when I feel like people are judging me or disrespecting me. It's
Hmm.
sadness, it's
You
sorrow.
probably created, you know, some the anger and the tough, you know, mask to protect the little soft you, because, you know, when you were nice and gentle and a caring person, you were, you know, you were hurt, you know, you got hurt by your family, by other people, so you created this mask to kind of protect that. But the thing is that, you know, you're older now and you don't need the mask anymore. People are going to be people and people are not going to like you, but um that should never compromise who you are authentically, if that makes sense. Because essentially what you're doing, you're selling yourself out for other people.
Yeah, like I find
And
it weird now. Like I can't even just walk up to people. Like I said, over the past couple of years, this has been happening to me. I can't even just walk up to a random person. Not that I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna approach you now and talk to you, but like if I'm in another random person's presence, let's say we're in an elevator or, you know, I don't know, somewhere in a line or waiting, and normally I would just, talk with somebody or make a joke or laugh or just, pass the time for the moment. I can't
Yeah.
even do that anymore. Like, I don't even feel comfortable doing that anymore. And I know that that stems from my anger is getting worse regarding other people. I'm getting worse about it when people judge me or, say something or just decide they don't like me. I get angry. Like, I don't even just, you know, brush it off my shoulders. Like, I'll get really angry about it and, I can be really aggressive. And then in that scenario, if they say something to me that's disrespectful, I will definitely like react in an aggressive way to where that could very much likely turn into a physical altercation.
mm,
And I'm okay with doing that, but I'm not okay with doing that at the same time. Like that's
that's not
never
what you
been who
want.
I was. Right.
You're right. That's
It's
not what
just
you want. That's just what you feel like you need to do to protect yourself.
yeah, yeah, to stand my ground and just I don't know. I always say it, like everything you're doing, I appreciate what you're doing right now, but I promise you I do all of this with myself. And so I have a lot of the answers to the questions that you're asking because I already do these things with myself. I ask myself these questions. I therapize myself on a regular basis. So I have the answers to these questions, but my main question is at what point does it stop? At what point do you just stop worrying and just exist peacefully and stop, waiting for other people to give you that permission? Like at what point do you just
Well,
exist
that's what I'm
peacefully?
trying to get to. Because one thing is I understand that therapy helps because I've been through therapy, but that's what I'm trying to get to. Like I know you're giving me the right answers, but that's why I'm like I'm trying to get deeper. And what you said, it was just perfect. It's when are you just going to be able to let go? It's not finding out what led to all this, because you know what led to all this. You know, you are very wise into what happened in your past and how it can, you know, it controls who you are today, and you're very knowledgeable about, and most people are, because you know, if you know you're not in therapy, if you've been in therapy, or if you've done any type of like shadow work, we mostly know where things stem from, and we know where it stems from. But the thing is that the only way to give yourself the permission to actually not care and um to have that sense of relief is that you have to give yourself permission. The question is, what needs to happen for you to give yourself that permission? And not and you know, and you can't erase your past. I mean, I wish we could, because if we could, I would be a genie and I would do it myself. That's not an option. But what do you need? For some people, they feel like they need to be more knowledgeable so they can avoid looking stupid. Some people feel like they need to, you know, be strong to not be soft. Some people, they feel like they need a lot of money so they can have power, so they don't feel vulnerable and weak. But But essentially, regardless of that, because that's just putting a band-aid over it, it's the question is what needs to happen for you to be able to give yourself permission, because nobody's going to give you permission. Nobody's telling you that you can't do anything. You're stopping yourself. So, and so it's like what is it going to take for you to be able to give yourself that permission? What gives you that permission to do that in your daily life? What gives you the permission to be funny and to be goofy and to be yourself and to not be angry?
The only thing I could think of if I had to answer that like that would be to not respond from anger and frustration to people who just don't agree with you. Not saying like they don't agree with something you said, just they don't agree with your presence, they don't agree with your personality. That needs to be okay, and that needs to be something that I don't have to respond to aggressively.
Okay. Again,
I'm
giving
scared
you
of
the right
myself.
answer. You're
Like that's
scared
the
of
thing is,
yourself.
yep, and I've always, my ex-boyfriend that I had for 10 years, I used to tell him that all the time. Like, I'm not worried about them, I'm worried about me. I'm worried about how I'm going to respond, and it's just it could be a really bad situation with disrespectful people or whatever it might be. Like, my response is not good, and it doesn't have to be that way. I don't have to respond from anger and aggression. I get mad, and like people have told me when I get mad, like they could see the devil in my face, in my eyes, like when I get mad, and that's what I need to change. Because I mean, talking to me like this and what you're hearing from me, I'm sure you can see that I'm not that person, but you'd have to see it in person to understand just how bad my anger and aggression really can be. And it's weird
Mm-hmm.
because it's not who I am. So
It's
that
not
that would be my
perfection.
answer to that question. Just
Yeah.
learn to not respond with aggression. Brush it off your shoulder and walk away. Or, if it's a situation where you're with a group of friends, you don't have to, be angry and aggressive with this one person that doesn't agree with you. That's not normal, like for you to be ready to like pop off at this person and be aggressive and angry and ready to fight. That's not normal. You could just let that person have their feelings. Everybody's entitled to their feelings and just be you.
So you
These
don't feel
days,
like you're normal? Wait, okay. So you don't feel like you're normal?
I do feel like I'm normal, but at the same time, my reactions are not normal.
So you believe that your reaction to your anger is not normal?
Yes, my angry reactions are very abnormal, very much so. I get angry really quickly and it just shows on my face. And not only just that, like when I feel like people disrespect me with words, I come back 10 times harder and I make the situation worse where I could just really just let this person talk and I can shame them by not reacting. But because I'm so angry, I don't do that. I react and then I become the one that's shamed by my reaction
But why do you get angry?
because of what I grew up with and just being oppressed for just existing with my brothers, just existing. Like I said, I had to be in physical fights just to exist in their presence. I would have like literally like when we were little, like I would wake up and they would be in the living room already or whatever, and I would just wake up and come in and it would be a situation like I could feel the tension in the air, and then it wasn't too long before one of them would say something to me just to affect me in a negative way. And I always had to fight for that. And then I hated it. Like I would literally, it got to a point where I was just like, man, I do want to go in the living room. I'm not going to sit in my room. I'm going to go in the living room, but it's going to be a problem. But I would have to like just, take that deep breath, that, all right. And just go to the living room just so I could sit down and watch TV and not be in my room. Just sit down and exist with my family. I would have to prepare myself for a battle. That's how I grew up. So That's where my anger response comes from. I'm at the point in my life where I'm just like, I'm not doing that anymore. I don't have to worry about, how I exist in your presence. That in that way, like, it's an anger response. It's an anger response. It's an aggressive response. That mentality that I do now is like, all right, I'm here. I'm gonna exist here. Like, who's got a problem with it? Because I'm ready for it. Whoever's got a problem with it. Like, I grew up with this. I fight and I will fight. Who's got a problem with it? If you got a problem with me, and that's how I enter a room. And that's a weird way to enter, a social situation. That's a weird way to do it. I'm always on 10 and ready to go.
Hmm. Honestly, I'm saying that because I used to have really bad anger issues. Like, you're not you're normal. Trust me. Like, yes, not everybody has this intense anger, but trust me, I've had that intense anger and I had it from a very young age and it kind of just followed me. So I want you to know that you're not normal. Yeah, I mean, I want you to know that you are normal and you're not weird. Shit, I'm sorry, and you're not weird because I've gone through it. I've tried to hurt people. I wanted to hurt people. I wanted to kill people. Like it, and it. I kind of thought I was like a sociopath or a psychopath for a little bit because it would be like just random people. It wouldn't even be people that hurt me. Like it would just be random people. I hated people so much that I did not even like them walking on the street. I did not like being around them at all. So it's you're 100% normal. You're the most things that are personal are usually the most universal. You're not the only one. And what a lot of times that we will try to do to ourselves is to tell ourselves that we're the only one, or we're the only one that deals with this. We're the only one that has this problem. And then that tries to like it isolates you from other people. And you start to create a split between yourself and on things that are acceptable and things that are not acceptable. So yes, you may be the, you may be very angry and you may have a lot of anger, but instead of trying to be like, oh, this is bad and you don't you obviously don't feel like that's you feel like you're this soft person, but there may be like that may also be you, and learning to accept those parts of you doesn't mean that you need to um agree with them, but learning to accept them can help you kind of let go of that, because I feel like you kind of shunned being who you were because of your family, um which rightfully so. I think anybody would in that type of situation. So you created, this person that's more stronger and just kind of takes things on their shoulder, and you're a fighter. You're a fighter now, and rightfully so. I get how you get that, but just because you may be both. People are nice one day, people are angry. I deal with the same thing. I don't want you to feel that you're not normal, because you definitely are. Um, I've had people say the same thing, that like when I get mad, like it doesn't I get red, and it looks like I'm like burning, like my eyes are on fire. So I've had a very similar experience to what you were describing. Or maybe I could be wrong. Shit. I'm not saying that I know everything, but I could be wrong. Shit. But I mean, unless you are the devil himself, I don't think. I think. Yeah, I believe you're a human. So you're okay,
Uh,
hun.
Yeah, I
can
mean,
I say
for
something?
me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Um, I was gonna say I'm not sorry. Well, I'm sorry. And like on the outside world, but on the social media, I'm not sorry. And I'm sorry too, by the way. Not sorry too, but sorry.
Sorority? What is that? What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
What do
The AIDS.
I don't I can't make it out. I'm sorry.
I'm like the 30.
Oh, you're 30.
Yeah.
What is your accent? Where are you from?
I'm actually have a speech impediment actually.
Oh, but you're American though.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, I'm 41.
Oh, you look great for 41.
Thank you. I get that a lot too. I know, and then that's the thing that I don't like to talk to people about because I have talked to people about it, my insecurities, and people are always like, "What are you talking about? You look like this. You're physically active. You're in a good way. Like, there's so much worse ways you could be. There's so many people who are in such a worse way than you at your age." And I get that, but I still have my weird ass insecurities, no matter what they are. I still have my insecurities. They exist, whether people agree with it or not, they exist. I know I look, I know I look good for my age. And I know I look good. I know I'm in great shape. Like I have a good body. I look good. I speak well. I'm good-hearted, kind-hearted. I'm out here in a good way, in the best way. I know that. I do know all of that. It's not like I'm oblivious to it, but I still have my insecurities. And that's the thing is like I can't talk to a lot of people about it in person because when I talk to people about my insecurities, it's automatically dismissed because what are you talking about? Look at you. What are you talking about? Like somebody like me can't have these insecurities without people being offended by it. And that's weird. Like why can't I talk to people about my insecurities in person without them being offended by it? And then they're just like,
See,
You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Like, why do you feel like that? Like, there's people worse off than you. You're doing too much." I can't even talk about it with people.
See, and now that's
You can
fucked
talk
up.
about it
You
with
Because
us.
the people who go to the gym and the people who do the most are people who was insecure about their bodies. That makes no sense to me. But it's happened to me before because I used to be very insecure about my weight, even though I was very small. I'm like, yeah, well, it's called anorexia, all right? Like, and so I agree with exactly because I used to be very small and very skinny, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like I feel fat, and they're like, oh my god, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, I can't
It's
say
not
anything now.
anorexia.
Shit.
That's actually body dysmorphia. It's dysmorphia, body dysmorphia. I have that. I have body dysmorphia. I never look good enough in the mirror. And I always feel like there's something wrong when I look in the mirror, like it could be better. I'm not anorexic, like, I don't starve myself. Like I eat, but I have a good body, but I have body dysmorphia at the same time. And when I talk about that, people get mad at me and I gotta stop. I gotta stop because most people have the average body, average body, and I don't have an average body. Not this is not this is no shade, no shade at all. And I'm already scared to talk about it because I already know my responses from people when I talk about it, but I have an above average body. I know I do. Like, I have a good body. I really do, but I still have body dysmorphia even though. And people hate when I talk about it. I'm not allowed to talk about my personal issues because what they see they will say like, I wish I had that. What are you talking about? And they don't really fully understand the body dysmorphia, issue that exists within people's mental health. And I do have body dysmorphia, not to the point where, I want to starve myself and, throw up or, anything like that to just stay in shape. I don't do that. Like I eat a lot, but I have a good body even with it. I don't go to a gym, but I still have a good body. My job is I work at Amazon. I call that my gym, like, because I work out. Like, it's heavy lifting, so I have a really good body. I have good muscle definition, all of that. And, it's good. But even so, even I will say it's good. Like, I can say that, but at the same time, there's still something missing. I don't know what it is, but it's still not good enough for me. And people get mad when I say that. And I'm not trying to say that anything's wrong with the person that I'm talking to about it. Like, they be like, well, what do you think of me? And I'm just like, what do you mean, what do I think of you? I'm not even looking at you like that. I'm not looking at you with judgment. I'm judging myself
Yeah.
right now. I'm not judging you.
No, 100%. No, I know I have body dysmorphia, but my body dysmorphia led me to be anorexic. That's what I meant. But no, I 100% agree. Like I've had instances where that has happened too, and it's kind of just overwhelming, and it gets to the point where you're just like, I'm just gonna keep everything that like I feel bottled up because I can't talk to nobody about it without them getting offended because they don't feel like they look as good as me, but it doesn't matter. And I will say that the body dysmorphia, well, I can't sit there and say that like I kind of that I'm cured for it because I'm definitely not. But that's also because I don't love myself, right? And when you actually love yourself, it kind of helps with the body dysmorphia. Because you
I
kind
love
of
myself.
you love yourself.
A-
Mhm.
as you should, Sky. As you should. As we all should.
Yes. Do you love
Doesn't even
yourself?
matter. As a 600 pound life, like watching 600 pound life, like, yeah, that's unhealthy, and I know that's got to be uncomfortable. But if you love it and you're okay with yourself, love it. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself at all for who you are or
There's
what you look
nothing
like.
right. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself, and I do agree with that. But there is health concerns.
Yeah, yeah. When it's health concerns, yeah, there is that.
If you don't have any like health issues and you want to be 600 pounds and you can walk and you can and you don't have like hypertension and diabetes, which I'd highly think is very rare for someone not to, then like, yeah, but, go for it, I guess. I'm also not saying that you need to be the skinniest bitch ever either. um but I think somebody who truly loves themselves is gonna want themselves to not have medical issues.
Agreed. Agreed.
I'm gonna end this if you guys don't care.
You're gonna leave?
I'm gonna end the puck what you call it.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably be back Monday.
Okay.
Monday's my birthday.
Your birthday? You're gonna be 31?
Yep.
That's what's up. Happy birthday. I probably won't see you or hear from you, till later on after your birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy
Okay.
birthday.
Thank you. Bye.
Take it easy.
Bye.